What's going on, guys? This is Cliff Coulter. I'm here to educate and teach a little bit about electronic wills. And these are brand new to Washington State in 2022. And we have some new procedures. So you can do these wills in counterparts now. And simply enough, what that means is you can do a will in one location electronically, and you can do a will in another location, and then those wills can later be merged together as long as they're the same document, obviously, and they're signed, in counterparts. Number two, these wills now can be in physical presence or electronic presence. Right? We've done wills in physical presence since time immemorial. Since the dawn of wills, now they can be done in electronic presence. And what that means is the witnesses can witness the wills in the electronic presence of the testator or the person signing the will. No longer do they need to be physically looking over your shoulder for you to sign it, which is obviously beneficial for many circumstances in the times we're in these days. Number three is storage. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky because we've always been able to store the will in our homes. We've always been able to store the wills in our filing cabinets. But now, only certain people are going to be allowed to store the will. Can you store your own will, for example? Probably not. Why? Because you have to make sure that the will has only one custodian and that person is keeping a seriously good chain of custody. If you keep the will, let's just say, by yourself, you have to give authorization to somebody else to get that will once you pass away. That means they have access to it. That means they could potentially manipulate it. Now, are they going to do that? Probably not. But these are just the rules. So if you want to have, a legit will that's, legally valid, you don't want to be the person holding on to that will. Now, can you have digital copies of that will? Maybe a watermarked version of it? Yeah, absolutely. But you want to have one original will that is held by the custodian in a secure location in the cloud, more than likely. You can hold it digitally however you want, but that's probably where most of these wills are going to be. Can you give it to your spouse? That's another one. No, definitely not your spouse, because your spouse is a beneficiary, so they're definitely not going to be able to hold on to the will, because what happens is the rule says if you're a beneficiary and you're holding on to the will, that will is going to be considered a lost will. You don't want to have a lost will, right? You want to have a legally valid will that is self-authenticating. So you hold your will with a qualified custodian. Now, the qualified custodian is going to be a law firm. The qualified custodian is going to be one of a few other types of entities. Trust companies, are maybe have them as a qualified custodian, and you have them as your executor when you pass away as a professional executor. So that may be the situation. Now, most people are just going to have everything go to their kids. They're not going to have their kids hold the will. They're not going to have their spouses hold the will because those are beneficiaries. They're going to have a law firm hold the will for them. The law firm is going to then take the will, the digital copy of the will, to the probate court when you pass away and get the probate started in the name of the beneficiary. At that point, then the beneficiaries can have your will. That goes over qualified custodian. How about self-proving affidavit? That's what the remote online notary is going to do for you. So you can't just have any notary do this. You have to have a notary who is qualified as a remote online notary and they have a certificate. Do I have one? Yes, I do. So we can do this right now. And for example, for myself, you come to me, you say, we need to do a remote online notarization. We use the remote online notarization software that's required. The state makes us go to them and let them know what software we're using. And you can use that anywhere in Washington State. So if somebody's in Seattle, they need to come to me for a remote online notarization. We can do everything online, even though I'm in Clark County and they're in King County or Pierce County, or, let's say they're in, Spokane, or they're in Walla Walla. It doesn't matter. Anywhere in the state, we can get these remote online notarizations right now because we're in 2022 and this is the future. You can't just be any notary. You can't just go to your bank and say, give me this, notarize this document. They probably won't notarize it in general because it's a will and they just don't do that. So you're probably going to want to have a law firm who does the whole process legally valid. You don't run into any issues, and a law firm who's a remote online notary. That's, probably not too many law firms at this point, but there's going to be more and more who are set up to do that. We're completely set up to do that, and we're one of the first, if not the first, who completed online will. So if you got any further questions or concerns, let me know. We'll get you taken care of. All right, thanks for watching, and God bless.
Thank you for watching this video, and It means the world to me if you would like, subscribe, hit the notifications button. If you like this video, we can get it out to more people. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks.